What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to come at you with a deck profile. Like I said in my introduction video, that would have later for you today. I'm sorry I couldn't upload it earlier, but I was out and about, so. But I want to give a shout out to Star Strike Duelist and Slim X Team Symmetry because they kind of inspired me into doing, Yugi tubing and all that. So check out their channels at Star Strike Duelist and Slim X Team Symmetry. They got some great advice for everybody. And today for the deck profile, I'm going to be doing an archetype, one of the original archetypes called, yes, the Dark Scorpions. You're like, probably thinking, Dark Scorpions, how's that going to work? Believe it or not, they're actually a good competitive deck because I tested it online, and I know it might be different in real life, but online I get good results from it. It can stand up to Chainburn. I beat a Chainburn, I beat an Agent deck, I've stood up to Dark World, so they're kind of sleepers that nobody really gives credit to, and I just want to give them credit today, because they're actually a really good deck that I was actually able to build into making it sort of competitive. So let's get into the deck profile so don't waste any time, and I'm going to explain how it works as I go along. First off, we got the monster count. It's only 40 cards, so it's really not that bad. Let me get that focused. There we go. Sorry about that. First off, we got Don Zalug. Yes, the head of the Dark Scorpions. Basically, their effects go off when you deal battle damage to your opponent, and in reality, I think they're kind of like wind-ups mixed with Insectors because they can discard cards from your opponent's hand and they can, pop back row. They can pop things on the field. They're just really good when it comes to, like discarding and whatnot, but it's a really fun deck to play. So we run 3 Don Zalugs. He's got 1400 attack, which really, I know it's nothing. Cards like Thunder King and whatnot can run over it. But here's the thing. When I get into the spells and traps, you'll see why they are what they do. Because they are just crazy and you don't expect it. Now, we got 3 Dark Scorpion Emanated Thorn. She is the Sanguine of the deck. She deals battle damage, and you get to search out any Dark Scorpion monster that you want. And it doesn't have to be, her attacking directly. But she has 1800 defense, which is a pretty high defense when it comes to a card like her for only 1000 attack. So, we run 3 of them, because it helps get out the Dark Scorpions quicker, add them to your hand, everything. Then we got 3 Quiff the Trap Removers. The Don's go-to guy. You attack directly, you can pop their back row. You can have them mill too. The point of this deck is to, stun your opponent. You attack directly with Quiff, say they don't have a back row. Oh, mill 2 cards. You attack with Don Zalug. Oh, there's really, nothing in their hand. Well, you can discard a card from the hand, or you can have them mill 2 more cards. Basically, it's focused on stunning your opponent, because these cards usually have a stun factor to them. And then we run One Chick the Yellow. He bounces cards to your opponent's hand. It's ridiculous the kind of combos you can pull off with him. I'm only running 1 because I think 3 clogs up the deck too much, and there's other monsters in there that I add in to help with it. So that's One Chick the Yellow. And another cool thing about Chick the Yellow is that when it deals battle damage to your opponent, you can look at the top card of their deck and you can either put it to the top or the bottom. I think that's pretty good. And it gets rid of a pesky card and, say it was, if you're facing Dark World, oh, it's Grapha, put it to the bottom, get that Grapha out of here. Now, for the tech cards, basically, we got 3 Marauding Captains. The reason why I don't run Gorg is because he's a level 5 and he takes up too much room. So, those 4 Scorpions are all you need. 3 Marauding Captains because it lets you get a special an extra monster in to the battlefield from your hand. You see, when it comes to this, they swarm. It's quick. You pull out Marauding Captain. Say you have Danzug in your hand. Boom, bring him out. So basically, it's just a swarm factor, and it helps out a lot quicker. Then we have 2 Mystic Tomatoes. Again, swarm the field. Get them Dark Scorpions out there. Infect the battle damage. Keep your opponent field empty. So that's 2 Mystic Tomatoes that we run. And then we have 2 Command Knights. Why Command Knight? Because if you have another monster on your field, he can't be chosen as an attack target. And not to mention, he buffs all your warrior monsters by an extra 400 attack points. So Danzulu goes from 1400 up to 1800. That's crazy. So we run 2 of them, and plus his defense is 1900, so it stops Thunder King. It stops anything lower with Thunder King. But when you bring out something higher, then then you have a problem. But then again, not too worried about it. Then we have Exiled Force. This card is just amazing in its own sense, because you can bring it onto the field and tribute it, and then it takes out your opponent's monster. If it's a monster on the field, destroyed. So basically, you run 1 of them. The key to this deck is to basically, keep your opponent's field empty. Keep attacking. Get out as much damage as you can to bring their life points down to 0. So, basically with an empty field, you're dealing with damage, and the Dark Scorpion's effects goes off. 1 Breaker, just because it's Breaker. He gets the spell counter when he's summoned, and then you remove it, you pop a back row. Or if you want to keep it, he gets buffed up by a couple extra attack points, which is a good thing, and you always need extra attack points. And then finally, Snipe Hunter. Snipe Hunter because you roll a die, it's popping your opponent's monster. Basically, it just runs over stuff. That's it for the monsters. It's 20 monsters. You're running basically the main Scorpions that you need. Gorg is just too risky. Most of the cards in this deck are level 4 or 3, which is good when it comes to, XZ, summoning, and all that for cards that you really need. So now it's getting to the spell cards. Remember when I said about buffing them? Here we go. 3 Ego Boosts. Why Ego Boost? Because it gives your creatures an extra 1000 attack. Therefore, it takes, Cliff up to 22, Donzalug up to 24, Chick the Yellow up to 2000. Basically, it's just a good card, and it's a buff card, and it's a quick play, so it's just crazy when you need something in a dire situation. Then we run 3 Rush Recklessly. Why? For the same reason we run 3. Sorry about that. 3 Ego Boosts. Why? Extra 700 attack points. Self-explanatory, quick play. Nothing more to say about it. And then we run 2 MSTs. It's staple. I don't run 3 because it just clogs up the deck, and I've tried to keep it to 40 cards maximum. And then Rhoda, because most of the deck is Warriors, Monster Reborn staple, Book of Moon staple, Dark Hole staple, and Heavy Storm staple. Basically, when you buff your creatures, it runs over your opponent's creatures and take them out, clear the field, inflict the battle damage that you can, get their effects off as quick as possible. Before you know it, your opponent's down to 0. So now let's get into the trap cards. We run the Solemn Brigade, because it's their staples in every deck basically, and I try to make it for, tournament play. And with everything running around nowadays, with Graphla and the Dark World, and then you got Wind-Ups, you got Chainburn coming back, Psychics in the top, just, it's good to, stop the summoning from a monster. So the Solemn Brigade, staple, self-explanatory. 1 Torrential because it clears the field. And the key to this deck is to clear the field, attack your opponent directly, and to just inflict as much battle damage as you can. These next 2 cards are basically proxies until I get them, but it's going to be too bottomless because it negates the opponent's monster summon and clears the field. Self-explanatory, I don't see why you wouldn't run it. Staple. Basically a staple trap lineup because of Mirror Force and all the rest of the cards. Staple trap lineup, nothing big, nothing fancy. You can add in some tech cards if you really need it, but I haven't felt the need to, because this deck just wins on its own. I know you would never understand how much underplayed that this deck really is, and how forgotten this archetype is, and I'm planning on bringing it back. I want to bring it back. I can't make it to the YCS and whatnot, but at locals, I can just, bring it out and everybody's like, what the hell? I thought they were, didn't exist anymore. So let's get into the extra deck. Chimera Tech Overdragon because I run 3 Cyber Dragons in my side deck, and it comes in handy whenever you need it. Never really had to pull him out, but he's there. With Brionac banned, I had to throw in another 6-star Synchro monster, so I decided to throw in Gravity Warrior because it's a warrior, and his effect is just ridiculous. For those of you who don't know what it does, it's when this card is synchro summoned, it gains 300 attack for each face-up monster your opponent controls. Once per turn during your opponent's battle phase, it can target 1 defense position monster your opponent controls and change it to face-up attack position, and it must attack if able. Broken. This card is crazy. I don't see why, with Brionac God, I know there's other synchros out there that you can substitute, but I use Gravity Warrior because I like it. Black Rose, self-explanatory, blow up the field, clear it, comes in handy when you need it. Stardust, self-explanatory, no really need to explain him. Don't really run tuners in this deck, but if I have to change up my side deck a little bit, I will. But other than that, I don't really go into synchro summoning much. It's mostly XZ summoning. So, for the XZ monsters, we got number 17, Leviathan Dragon. Self-explanatory, it's awesome. 2 level 3s. I run, 6 level 3s in there. The 3 Maraudings, the 3 Cliffs, and it comes in handy when you need it. So, that's Leviathan Dragon, number 17. And then the almighty Wind Up Zenmaines. Usually, I find myself going Zenmaines turn 1 because I usually draw into Marauding Captain and Cliff the Trap Mover in my opening hand. So, drop Marauding, special summon Cliff, XZ summon into Wind Up Zenmaines. Boom. Zenmaines turn 1. It's quick, it's easy, it's fast, and I love it. And his effect ain't nothing to play with. He's basically a staple now in everyone's extra deck. And then, this card saves my ass a lot. Heroic Champion Excalibur. Excalibur is amazing. You XZ summon him with 2 level 4 warriors. Most of the cards in this deck are warriors. You detach both of its materials, it goes up to 4,000 attack. That's a 4,000 beater up until the end of your opponent's next turn. It is amazing. Blade Armor Ninja, self-explanatory, you can attack twice. I run 2 Utopias. Why 2 Utopias? Because it is an amazing card, and you never know when you're going to need Utopia. And one gets destroyed too easily once it has no material monsters, so that's 2 Utopias. Photon Butterfly Assassin. This card is amazing. You detach an XYZ material, it changes your opponent's set monster into face of attack, and it loses 600. Crazy. The combos that you can pull off with this thing are, out of this world, so I don't see why anybody wouldn't want to run that. Illuminite for draw power, it's a good beater, 2400, all the way around, so it's a good card. You never know when you're going to need him. 3 level 4 warriors, and that's not bad since most of the cards in this deck are level 4 warriors. And then I run Gem Knight Pearl as an extra beater. Adrius, self-explanatory. And Inspector Exit Beetle. This card is seeing a lot of play lately, and it's self-explanatory, so, I mean, I run him, I don't really have level 6 monsters, but you never know when you're gonna need it. And my Gyarados token, because Gyarados is amazing. That's it for the extra deck. Another good thing about the Dark Scorpion is that it gets around stuff like Bottomless. Bottomless says, you know, banish it with over 1500 attack. Well, the Dark Scorpions say no, because every card in this deck is under 1500, except for Stipe Hunter and Breaker. So, I don't see what is so bad about that. So now, let's go into the side deck. Side deck, you know, it's different for everybody, but here's what I run. I run Macrocosmos, self-explanatory. Ultimate Offering gives out extra swarming for the deck. Nobleman Across Out because it's good when it comes to like stuff like Dark World with Morphin Jar running around or any flip effect monster. Just banishes them. Polymerization for the 3 Cyber Dragons and Toll. Most people have forgotten about Toll. I haven't. Toll is awesome. It locks down a lot of decks because both players have to pay 500 life points for each monster that wants to attack. I don't know about you, but a lot of people don't like paying that. To me, I don't really care. And then Cyber Dragon, self-explanatory. Kuriboh. This card has saved me so many times, it's not even funny. You know, just when you think that you're gonna lose, they attack directly with one monster. Kuriboh. They don't know what hit them. So, Kuriboh is good in its own way. I like to run it. Sword, self-explanatory. Deck Devastation Virus, self-explanatory. Tsukiyomi, now that it's back, because I don't main deck it, I think it's an extra Book of Moon, and it's just good in general. So glad this card came off the ban list. Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, self-explanatory. Morphing Jar, you know, it comes in handy when you really need it. I don't really side it too much. And Cyber Dragon, self-explanatory. So, you know, extra deck, it's universal for all my decks. My side deck's universal for all my decks. But, in conclusion, the Dark Scorpions, they got potential. These guys have potential that I never knew that they had until I started playing with them. 40 cards. That's the deck. You know, if you have any feedback, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. You tell me what would be better to add into my deck. You know, subscribe, like the video, whatever, comment below. Doesn't matter. But, hope you and guys enjoyed this deck profile of the long lost archetype of the Dark Scorpions. And like I said, I playtest them and I like them. They're fun to play. They're competitive in their own nature. They're just really fun, so try it out. If you don't like it, then, you know, I don't know. But I like them. To each their own. But, all in all, Black Lotus 63 signing out. And I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. Another shout out to Starstrike Rules and Slim X Team Symmetry because they helped me make this video and made me inspired for YouTubing. Thank you.